This is 5 in 10 from Skywatch TV. 5 things you need to know for Wednesday, July 24th, 2024. I'm Derek Gilbert. Item number 5 today, rough start. Rough start for Kamala Harris and her, presumably, her campaign as the Democratic nominee for president. That's not official yet, but again, things got off to a rough start on Friday, according to NBC News. A conference call with Harris on Friday left Democrat donors feeling unimpressed and insulted. Some of the comments cited by NBC, quote, "It was a total failure. It was damaging. It was poor planning." Another called it ludicrous. Also described it as mismanaged and rushed. This was a call Friday before President Biden announced his decision to step aside in the presidential race, with about 300 big donors to the Democratic Party, 300 heavy hitters. He kicked off with reports from field organizers who used their time to vent about the movement behind the scenes to convince President Biden to step down. The donors were admonished against agitating to replace Biden. One participant said that this was how organizers stalled to buy time because Harris was about 20 minutes late joining the call. And during that 20 minutes, admonished the donors to stop trying to convince Biden to step aside. Well, that kind of tone didn't sit well with these donors because these are wealthy people who are not used to being told what to do. That's not how you win friends and get money. Donors went into the call expecting to receive some inside information on how the party was going to recover from the devastating impact of Joe Biden's terrible performance at the debate with Donald Trump on June 27th. Instead, they got the bad cop, good cop treatment, with organizers being the bad cop and then Kamala Harris coming in as the good cop to give him a pep talk. Well, major donors reportedly taking matters into their own hands. One group is bankrolling, independent of the Democratic National Committee, a process to start vetting potential successors other than Kamala Harris. Names being tossed around: Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear, North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper, Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer, Arizona Senator Mark Kelly. This will be an entertaining summer, to be sure. Topic number 4, Trump. More questions about what happened on July 13th at that rally in Pennsylvania. We've got the most advanced communication and military systems in the history of, well, humanity. Satellites in space that cover every square inch of the planet, just about. Radar systems that can detect extremely small airborne objects. But despite all of this, the airspace in Butler, Pennsylvania, which should have been restricted within hours of Trump's speech there on the 13th, was not. The shooter, Thomas Matthew Crooks, flew a drone over the venue more than once to scope it out. Later, of course, he was seen with a range finder, went and got his gun and a ladder, climbed up on the building, sat there for nearly half an hour, we now know, before he took a shot. Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheatle, grilled by members of Congress at a hearing of the House Oversight Committee on Monday, wanting to know how all of this happened. She said she takes responsibility for the failings, but angered members of both parties by refusing to answer questions specifically, citing the ongoing investigation. And she has refused calls for her resignation. So she takes responsibility. She just doesn't want any consequences for the failures. Furthermore, we now know, thanks to the Washington Post, which is not a newspaper known for its pro-Trump coverage, that a spokesman for the Secret Service lied when he said the Secret Service had not rejected requests from the Trump campaign for more security personnel. From the article, quote, "The Secret Service, after initially denying turning down requests for additional security, is now acknowledging some may have been rejected. The revelation comes as agency veterans say the organization has been forced to make difficult decisions amid competing demands, a growing list of protectees, and limited funding," end quote. They said they didn't deny requests. When the spokesperson was challenged with this, he said, we now have new information. In addition, the Butler Township Police Department in Pennsylvania, not happy about the Secret Service throwing it under the bus, blaming local cops for the security failure. Butler Township Commissioner Edward Natale said that the Butler Township Police had no security responsibility at the event, and that there were only 7 officers present, all of them assigned to traffic control. The Secret Service has not held any press conferences to share information with the press here. I mean, this is a big deal. I know we're all wrapped up here in trying to figure out who's going to replace Joe Biden on the Democratic Party ticket, but this is a really big deal because we need to make sure that regardless of political party, that this, what happened July 13th in Butler, Pennsylvania, doesn't happen again. Topic number 3, Adidas. The shoe company has stepped in it. Now, you can understand why they'd want to hire a supermodel with 61.3 million Instagram followers for a new ad campaign. This was to launch the SL72 OG sneaker, the classic, iconic Adidas look from 50 years ago. Well, they hired Bella Hadid. Okay, Bella Hadid. The play on her name, they can call them Adidas. The SL72 OG sneaker, however, commemorates the 1972 Munich Olympics. Now, if you're old like me, you might remember that the 1972 Munich Olympics is remembered mainly because Palestinian Arab protesters, a group called Black September, took 11 Israeli athletes hostage in the Olympic Village and then later murdered them. Ms. Hadid is a Palestinian Arab, at least half Palestinian Arab, and she has a history of making anti-Israeli comments, not just her, but her family as well. Now, one would think that somebody inside Adidas would have been cognizant of this, Adidas being a German company, and Munich, of course, being in Germany. What's even more astonishing is that the media coverage is focusing on the protest by the Israeli government, making it appear as though it's the Israeli government who's upset because Adidas hired a Palestinian Arab spokesmodel. No, Hadid and her family have years of making anti-Israel statements and false claims, but you wouldn't know that from the media coverage. This was a major failure by Adidas, and it's not just the Israeli government protesting. Jewish groups from all over the world have pointed this out, and Adidas has now dropped Ms. Hadid from the ad campaign. Topic number 2, money for nothing. Turns out it doesn't really solve problems. It makes people poorer. A comprehensive study on giving unrestricted cash grants to impoverished Americans found that it doesn't really improve the lives of those receiving the money. We're talking about universal basic income here. This study found that out of every dollar given, about 81% transferred went to higher spending on items like housing, 22 cents went to leisure items, and negative 3 cents went to increased borrowing as recipients took on loans for cars and home mortgages and stuff. The increased debt actually brought down participants' net worth in these programs over a 3-year period. In other words, giving them money, in this particular study, $1,000 a month per recipient, it made them poorer in the long run. Why? Well, people put more money initially into savings and felt better about their finances, but they also cut back on work and let the free cash fill in the gap from money that they were earning previously. And the study discovered that for every dollar received, participants' earnings, excluding the free money, dropped by at least 12 cents. Total household income fell by at least 21 cents. Giving people free money disincentivizes work, and people wind up poorer in the long run. Who'd have thought? Coming up, another example of why archaeology is cool. Straight ahead on 5 and 10.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can easily and conveniently stream this incredible new film, Void Earth Cataclysm Before Genesis, right now at skywatchtv.com/stream or on the mobile app for immediate access. However, if you'd like to receive your own hard copy on DVD, Skywatch TV is proud to announce the Void Earth Ultra Collection. When you order this exclusive collection from the Skywatch TV store, you'll receive the brand new documentary from Defender Investigative Films, Void Earth, Cataclysm Before Genesis, along with Dr. Thomas Horn and Reverend Donna Howell's best-selling book, Before Genesis, The Unauthorized History of Tohu, Bohu, and the Chaos Dragon in the Land Before Time. These powerful works present astounding revelations like no other, taken directly from the Word of God, the conclusion to the events of Genesis that merges all contributing voices from not only the young and old creationist groups, but the scientific community as well into one balanced and agreeable climax. They reveal precisely how ancient archaeological sites like Göbekli Tepe and the Doorway of the Serpent point irrefutably to an intelligent race of beings here on Earth thriving before the time of Adam and under Lucifer's fallen dominion. They pull back the veil on exactly what the Earth was like during the without form and void era of Genesis 1-2, and so much more, featuring Dr. Michael Lake, Derek Gilbert, Reverend Donna Howell, Gary Stearman, and the late Dr. Thomas Horn in what would become his last documentary appearance ever. But that's not all. You'll also receive 315, The Genesis of All Prophecy by the legendary Rabbi Eric Walker. This prophetic, convicting, and heart-rending book exposes anti-Semitism as Satan's plan to eliminate the Jews and the catastrophic consequences the world will face if this agenda succeeds. Sold separately, all of these items hold a retail value of $75. Yours now for your donation of only $45, which includes free shipping to all U.S. orders. So don't delay. You can scan the QR code on your screen using the camera app on your phone for instant access to this special opportunity. You can also visit us at skywatchtvstore.com or call 1-844-750-4985 and ask for the Void Earth Ultra Collection now.
Item number one, yes, archaeology is cool, especially in the Holy Land. Researchers are closing in on the historic location of the Last Supper. Sometime in the 4th century AD, Christians began visiting a 2-story house on Mount Zion. Now, that's not the Temple Mount, which is what we think of as Mount Zion. They've actually renamed the western hill Mount Zion. But anyway, it's outside the city wall. It's got limestone walls and a sloped red roof, convinced, and again, 300 years after the resurrection, that it was connected to the place where the Last Supper was held. There are several artworks dating to that time period, or even a little earlier, that depict the Last Supper being shared by Jesus and his close followers. This is the famous painting by Da Vinci. Archaeological digs are prohibited in this area of Jerusalem. You start digging there, and there are various competing groups, not just Jew and Muslim, but a lot of Christian groups, and the various factions within Christianity that fight about the digs. Despite this limitation on the research that can be performed, an analysis back in 2017 by religious scholar David Clausen from the University of North Carolina, Charlotte, produced evidence linking the upper room to the Last Supper. He analyzed a map of Jerusalem created in 560 AD. This is the Madaba map, a famous mosaic on the floor of a church in Madaba, Jordan, depicting 2 sacred structures on the south end of Jerusalem outside the city walls, basically where the tours think it is right now. This demonstrates that the original version of the current structure was built that far back and was identified as a holy place. And then in 2019, the Israel Antiquities Authority launched an investigation of this site. They used laser scanning technology and photographic imaging techniques to create a 3-dimensional model of the upper room, but with all of the updates and renovations made to it over the centuries removed, and they did discover, using this technique, symbols on the ceiling representing the Agnus Dei, or Lamb of God, and the Lion of Judah. It's not conclusive, but more circumstantial evidence that the tours that have been going to the upper room have in fact been visiting the site of the Last Supper. Archaeology is cool. And that's one of the reasons we're so fascinated by the subject of a world before Eden. Is there anything left? Would there be And would there be anything from the pre-flood world? Well, we will debate about this probably until the second coming, but our programs on Skywatch TV right now are about the new documentary from Defender Investigative Films, Void Earth, Cataclysm Before Genesis. Is the Earth old or is it young? Is the answer to both questions yes? Don't miss this fascinating series of programs. Episode 1 right now available at our website, skywatchtv.com. You can also catch it right now over the air. Our broadcast schedule on our partner Christian networks is posted at skywatchtv.com/channels. Now, if you've got Roku or Apple TV, make sure you've got the Skywatch TV app installed on your set-top box, because that brings all of our video content right to you, including these daily news updates. You can also watch us on the internet, youtube.com/@skywatchtelevision or rumble.com/skywatchtv. You can also catch it right now on our free app. And really, that's a great thing to do. Download this to your smartphone or tablet, because it keeps you in direct contact with Skywatch TV, bypasses the gatekeepers of big tech. All of our video content is there, other features as well, including a tab that gets you directly to our streaming video site where you can watch Void Earth. It's available for iOS, Android, and Amazon Kindle Fire phones and tablets, and we have links to those app stores at skywatchtv.com/app. 5 in 10 online, youtube.com/@5 in 10. On X, formerly Twitter, 5_in_10. And thank you for watching as we keep watch. I'm Derek Gilbert. This is 5 in 10 from Skywatch TV.
Hi friends, Pastor Mike Spaulding here to announce the Go Therefore 2024 conference. We will gather Friday and Saturday, July the 26th and 27th at Harvest Revival Center in Brookville, Ohio. This year we welcome the following scholars, Bible teachers, and researchers: Derek and Sharon Gilbert, Joe Horn, L.A. Marzulli, Dr. Judd Burton, Pastor Paul Begley, Pastor Carl Gallups, Dr. Greg Reed, Tom Dunn, and Dr. Sherry Tenpenny will be doing a book signing for her new book, Walking with God. Live stream is available. Ministry tables are available for like-minded ministries. Hotel and other information is on the conference website, www.gothereforeconference.com. Gothereforeconference.com. Looking forward to seeing you.